The higher up people live in a building, the safer they feel leaving their windows open. The ground floor? Absolutely not. What if someone climbs in? The first floor? Well, maybe. People won't exactly climb up, but still don't leave them open if you're going on holiday. Anything above that seems pretty safe. People leave some windows open literally constantly. I mean, what kind of dangers are you going to find so high up? If you live above the 10th floor, you won't want to find out. Leaving a window open could be the most innocent, grave mistake you could possibly make. My warning to you is not about falling from your window ledge. Even windows that are restricted to only open by about an inch are dangerous. Even if there is the slightest way inside, he will find it. Stories of the thing that hovers circulated when I was a child. Kids would claim that at night they saw something slowly hovering down the street about 100 foot in the air. They would all have different descriptions of it. A small glowing orb, a creature with red eyes, a dark cylinder. The stories all hit the same notes. They all looked out of their bedroom window at about 3 a.m. They all saw something high in the sky, but not too high. They all immediately felt filled with dread, despite nothing bad actually happening, and had to look away. I have now learned why. I live on the 11th floor of this student accommodation building. The kitchen is shared with a few other people. I don't really know them that well. We only talk on a need-to-talk basis. Although, I think a few of them are friends with each other. Regardless, it means that whenever I'm at home, I'm in my bedroom. I'm usually awake quite late, whether it be gaming or studying, usually the former. Last night, it wasn't either, though. I've been stressed a lot recently, and I found myself sitting up in bed, staring out my window. It was cracked open just a bit to let a small breeze in. I don't know how long I sat like that. It was just relaxing. It was nice to look down at all the people out of the night, some clearly drunk and others just walking as if it's not the middle of the night. It's that second group I find the most interesting. I find myself making stories with my head. Where they could be going at a time like this, who they are, and whether they are doing this regularly. At some point, at the corner of my eye, I noticed something not down below or way up high. Something right at my level. It was hard to see what it was in the dark. I wasn't so much looking at this then, I was looking at its silhouette. As it moved in front of my dimly lit windows of the building across the road, the room directly across the street had its light on and curtains open. And it was the best light source I had. It didn't seem to be any shape to me, more like a cloud of smoke, one that didn't rise but just moved in unnatural ways. I immediately thought back to the shouted stories of the thing that hovers. It began to get closer to my window, slowly, and slower still, but moving on a scene. The whole while I kept looking behind me as if something was already in the room. This thing made me feel on edge. I thought once it finally reached my window, I'd be able to see it clearly, to see that my imagination was getting carried away. I was just a bag in the wind, is what I was hoping to think. Instead, I just found my bedroom window covered, blackness all over it. It was as if my view of the city became a window into the void. I felt dizzy and my vision felt off, like looking at it was wrong. Every bone in my body was telling me to look away, but I'm glad I didn't because I noticed some of the smoke beginning to leak through the cracks of the window. I have never closed it so fast. I even locked it, something I never do, because why would you when you live this high up? I felt slightly better immediately. The view slowly came back as the thing that hovers moved away. I had to lie down for a while and clear my head. I had a headache that seemed to punish me for not looking away. Despite this, once it cleared up, I sat back up and looked out my window. I noticed that the road directly across the street from me no longer had its light on. At least, that's what I thought. Until I looked closer. It was there. It had covered their window and was getting in. Their window must have been open more than mine, as it didn't take long for it to get inside. I never saw it leave because I closed my curtains at that point and didn't look outside again. This morning, people were talking about the man who was found dead across the street. I don't know for sure, but my gut tells me he must have lived in the room I saw it enter. I haven't told anyone what I know yet. I'm scared to. But I've been thinking today about what this thing is. I think I understand its behavior now. Clearly, it feeds on people, but what if it also hates to be seen? It only travels at night, high enough to not be illuminated by streetlights, but low down enough that it can climb inside windows. It always has a different shape for every person when it creeps them out. Not when it scares them. Humans love to stare at things that scare them, but we always look away from things that we find creepy. Everything it does seems to show that it hates to be seen, a silent killer that only targets people who think they're safe, and does everything it can to make sure you never see it coming. So if you live above the 10th floor, don't leave your windows open. Not unless you're ready to meet the thing that hovers.